Welcome to Center of Light, everyone. It's good to see you. My aim is always to be crystal clear. In fact, my new kitty cat is named Crystal. Welcome to Center of Light. Being crystal clear. That is what our Divine Father is asking of us. Nothing more. To live in the gate, live in the kingdom, live in the garden. In order to do that, we have to be clear. That brings me to this presentation tonight, Center of Light Decision. Freedom or slavery. Some people are so scared, that's all they know. Some people, love scares them to death. Making a new choice. It's decision time. Things are moving in a very cray-cray way for me. I'm my own barometer. We are all our own barometer. Some people want to be in the old world and they won't let it go, even if the truth taps them on the shoulder and says, I'm here to kiss you on your face if you just give me a chance and look at me for a moment. Some people won't do it. And it's okay. It's all beautiful. It's all beautiful unfoldment. Some petals on a flower get pruned off. Do you associate yourself like a rose with either the thorn and getting stuck by that thorn, getting stuck by that thorn that's in your mind, the thorn in your mind? Or do you associate with the part of a beautiful flower that's unfolding? These times are no joke. It is tough to keep up. If that's our metaphorical mission, is to go up, it can be tough. So like that flower or that rose that gets pruned, this is what's happening. Here's the liberation ticket, the e-ticket. It's okay to get upset with what you think is happening in the world. Getting mad about it doesn't work. Being upset means I don't like this, and it's a motivating factor that says I'm going to do something about it. Then we begin the process of asking, what do I do about it? And then you become a servant. And then your vibration goes up. And none of these said things out here can ever touch you, ever. You're invincible. Because of the invisible that you've made conscious contact with. Everything you see is yellow in here. Swamji gave me this band almost a year ago. Gave a few others this band. I said, why is that, Swamji? This is Swamji, Universal Lord on Earth today. He said, protection. Yellow is protection. I said, why yellow? He said, protection. Everything is yellow. See, all of this has a relationship. We have a relationship with that, or do we? Which creates everything, and how everything has not only a meaning, but everything has meaning. Are you seeing what I'm meaning? And I mean it. Tonight is Center of Light decision. Freedom or slavery. It's choice time. It's simply an attitude shift inside. There you are. So we don't have to like what's happening in the world, and we don't like to we don't have to like the people who are playing these roles. That's what they are. Everyone you meet, everyone without exception, you meet. As soon as you meet them after a couple of times, you've already assigned them a role. And when that person doesn't carry out your vision of what you think they should or shouldn't do in your life, we become upset. So in this play, this final act of Earth's grand play, are you upset at the people in the movie? The movie that you loved and you called your friends, hey John, man, you ought to go check out this movie. It was awesome. There's villains and heroes. But are you upset at the heroes? In the movie you were. But when you get out the theater, you just called your friend and said how glorious of a movie it was. Same idea. The ticket is not only to be of service. We're truly of service when we stand, arise, awake, and unite. But we don't blame either. How can we enter the garden of purity with blame, shame, and gain? You can't do it. That would be like a virus. and bring the whole house down, the whole divine mansion down. Doesn't happen that way. This is the point of purification. And we got our big toe in the water. Speaking of water, I just took my weekly bath. Welcome to Center of Light Decision, freedom or slavery. And what I mean by slavery, I don't mean someone is binding you. It is that way, but it's really not. We're choosing to let things bind us and shackle us. It's kind of like, think about this. A young elephant, when they're raising him, they put a shackle, an actual shackle around his leg, and stick a peg, a stake in the ground this long. And he can't move. Many years of conditioning. Now they tie just a simple rope with a little peg about that long into the ground. And the elephant never once thinks to fart or sneeze or just tug on his leg. He becomes free. Likewise, we are the elephant. Hello, Ganesh. You have to move your leg. You have to want to be free. And you do that by simply having the want to see. Look, dear Lord, friends, brothers and sisters, look around you. The grand facade is happening. Welcome to the grand illusion. Come on in and see what's happening. You've paid your price. Here's your ticket for the show. That movie I just talked about. That's where we are. We're in the theater. We're 3/4 way into the movie where shit starts getting really good. And Tom Cruise is running and bombs are going off. And he's always protected. He's always the guy. Or Scarlett Johansson is always the girl. Invincible. Untouchable. We all have a decision to make. Center of Light decision. Freedom or slavery. Now, the question becomes, I'm definitely for freedom. Everyone may say. How? By that very question in and of itself contains the answer. The answer that's so far beyond the question itself that there was never a question. So the question is, how do I make that happen? Not only for myself, but for the tribe. By asking how. And so I decided today, after some really crazy things began to happen to me, I had a fever last week. A low-grade fever. And I don't even want to call it a fever. It's not that. I had it yesterday, and I had it today. And it feels like I drank too much coffee. And it doesn't feel like it's coming from within. It feels like it's coming from without. Invading my personal energy. And doing a number on me. And it's quite convincing that it can come from that it would come from the inside, but it's not. We're no longer going to use the terms of the two things that are said to be happening in the world. The reason we are shut down, we're not going to talk about the devil. Right? We're going to call it the sea, or the giant sea, or whatever, the sea. And the other one that has to do with a numerical figure, which happens to have one right behind my house, 500 feet. We're not going to call that either. We're going to call it the G. So we got the C and the G. And I started feeling funky today. When I first moved here a month ago or so, I started feeling a dry scratch in my throat, a cough. I had this in November and December. I don't feel sick. Well, Keith, you might be a carrier. I ain't a carrier of anything. It doesn't feel to me as if there's something inside of me. I feel pressed upon or oppressed, to use the word, not only by this feeling that has me held down, that's why I called it a low grade of a something, by the lack of information that I have yet to find for myself to put me on the road to truth that will set me, dear Lord, free. I feel it. I want to offer something that someone sent me today via Facebook inbox. It says, I'm going to hope and pray that we succeed. I just feel a lot of darkness. I don't like to speak of it. That's why I call it the C from the G. Good. And I guess it's always darkest before the dawn. It is always darkest before the dawn. So that would be twilight. So I think right now we are in twilight. Twilight. One world, the dimension in between, the next world. So we are in the garden. We're actually stepping onto the bridge. The old world is dying and or dead. The new world is opening up. So we are in the twilight zone. Hello, everyone. I see some questions and comments. Hello, Link. Let me ask. Ricky Vito, Anna, Wendy, Gail, Tony Meharry, Dana, Rick Vito, Dana said that, Gail, William, what's up, brother, from Savannah, George A. Wendy, Lilia Byram, I'm going to get to her question. Tamara, I want to know how to pronounce your name. Tam, what's up, girl? What do you like? All right, let's get down to some conversation. Wendy says, I'm beginning to think I am crazy. I hope to God you are crazy as a loon. In fact, I hope you're, pun intended, bat shit crazy, because I am. I'm tired of the normal. And maybe this is what we need to move into to bring us to a state of balance as we continue to move up the rung of the ladder. Lilia Byram, hello. It's good to see you again. What do I do about it? She says, I love it. There is no other way. Jesus is not going to save you. He may give you a nudge and a boost, but he's not going to save you. Katerina, she says I have pretty feet. Hello, Katerina. Lilia says, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Thank you for that. This makes me so sad. Elephants are glorious. Freedom, says Lilia again. Link says, I'm just playing along with society and its rules/laws. Is that wrong? I think that is the most accurate depiction of how one can see this game of life by Milton Bradley. God is Milton Bradley. Hello, Janie. Scaife. Link says, I've been referring to that feeling as heavier gravity lately. Yeah. Rebellion could be too much entertainment. Link says, I'm going to ride my unicorn into Walmart with no mask. So, when I mentioned that I had enough, we've all had enough, something's been happening with me, and I decided today that I'm going to take the initiative to contact Swamji. He contacted me via my friend, my sister Anjana, who's Swamji's associate, a secretary, attendant when it comes to Memphis. And he said, tell Keith to send me all these videos that we've ever done an interview, blah, blah, blah. So today I contacted Anjana and I said, I need to speak to Swamji. She said, okay. I said, I have some questions, some very, very serious questions. Very, very serious questions. I deserve to know. You deserve to know. Your children deserve to know. My son deserves to know. I'll tell you this right now. God will not ever play politics. Never speak politics. Not only politics in Washington, D.C., the politics of the collective life of humanity, as well as one's own singular personal politics. Swamji will not do it. He will not do it. But it requires passion, sincerity, humility, vulnerability, and an open heart. And in such a way, God, in any form, Jesus, Swamji, whoever, becomes your slave. We are talking about freedom here, aren't we? Because when you ask the divine a question from an absolute space inside, God basically has no choice but to say, what can I do for you? Asking. And I'm going to take the initiative upon myself to contact Swamji in India and say, I need to talk to you. I am confused. People are confused. I understand you will not play politics. I am not interested in that either. But I am asking you. There's lots of information. There's lots of misinformation. And there's lots of confusion in all of that. And we are lost. But we sure are trying. What is happening in a way we understand that helps us shift into a way we deserve. Right here and right now. Please answer me. And I will get an answer. I have no doubt. Hello, Pri. Hello, Jethan. Terry, Tracy. Hello, Linda. So we are truly in the twilight zone. We're in the twilight zone. We're 3/4 of the way into the movie. As someone asked me earlier, or mentioned earlier to me, it seems to be darkest before the dawn. That is true. And even so, we know that when it's dark, it's not a fun place. No one wants to bump their feet or toes on the furniture to break their foot or toes. We want to see. So we can do the very thing we were asked and agreed to do when we came upon this God-given earth. And right now the water is very dirty and murky. And there's something lurky about. I'm not afraid of it. Just give me a heads up of what this is so I can best navigate to climb the mountain, to champion, to brave the mountain I came here to do so that all of us can return back to the fountain of forever. It's time to ask the question. And there is no question about it. I'm going to ask with the all of me. And with all of me, I know he's going to respond. I mean this in all respect. Sometimes, for example, if your dad has been testing you, your physical dad has been testing you, slapping you around, not because he doesn't love you, because he loves you, pushing you, hoping that one day you go, my dad is trying to make me strong inside. And when you put your dukes back up to your dad and say, look, Dad, I'm not going to take this. Dad says, congratulations, here's your black belt. You have passed. I was never trying to harm you. I was trying to get you to respond. I am going to respond. Hey, Dad, I'm here to be just that, a warrior. I need something from you. Hello, Rob Cooley. Hello, Sana. I need something from you. Tonight is Center of Light decision making time. Time's up. Freedom or slavery. That's the choice we have. It's always been that way. But right now, the whole experience is beginning to exponentiate. No, let me rephrase that. The whole experience is beyond exponentiating. In fact, there is such an amazing, powerful, unending river current momentum behind it. It is unstoppable, like a train that is moving at peak performance at top speed. Dear Lord, only use the outside as a reference point so that in your humanity you can find your footing to stand on solid ground when things are shaky. Twilight zone. Moving into your divinity. Understand that you really plant yourself here. But every once in a while you check in with things or check out with things. Let me go check this out. And you can use that as a powerful measurement stick, a powerful tool just to say, this is the energy spinning in the world that my monkey mind understands. It's valuable, but it doesn't have to take you off of your center. Question: what is this? Mom, Dad, what is this? Why is it here? I'm not trying to run away. I'm not trying to blame others. I'm asking you, what is it? You put it in front of me. Help me understand it in a way that I can, so I can do what I am here to do. There is no more beautiful possible way to ask a question of your divine parent than that. No matter what it is you say, no matter what it is you do, no matter how hard you pray, no matter what it is you believe. It's to find this place to say, I understand this is nuts. The truth is not a salve, band-aid, nor tincture. It's a ball buster. It's a punch in the throat. It's a kick in the groin. It's a kick in the solar plexus to expand us out of normalcy. So when we start to wobble in this state of confusion and uncomfortableness and pain and suffering and disease and evil, we have to arise above the situation. Einstein said, you can never solve the problem with the same mindset that created it. So we can't live in blame, shame, and game and expect to receive an answer from that which is the profound. It will never happen. So we get out of blame. We're already on a high platform just simply by getting out of the evil. Light always disperses evil into absolute nothing. Absolute nothing. Absolute nothing. So I am asking you, hello Krista, hello Judy. I am asking you that when you fall inside, be it in a meditation, be it doing the dishes, be it taking a shower. What a beautiful way to cleanse your system. That prayer. Speak to them not like, it's, of course you are reverent and it's inherent in what you are doing because it's part of who you are. So there's no way you cannot be reverent. So it's already recognized by the highest court. They've integrated reverence, humility as part of their personage. So you don't have to go extra hard to be reverent. It's already who you are. But what now needs to happen is that you ask the question as if you're standing up for yourself to your maker and to the rest of the nonsense that's happening in the world. Maybe your divine parent is trying to kick you out of the nest and say, do it on your own. The child will say, well, this is tough love and someone's abusing me. The parent says, you got to do it for yourself. And so standing up in such a way, arise, awake, unite, are we declaring to our divine parent, I had enough. I just had enough. You have to step in and give me something. Something. A nugget. A juicy nugget, mind you, but at least a nugget. I deserve it. Do you feel me? Center of light decision. Freedom or slavery? Robert. That place. This time does take. It requires everyone to stand up. Not only stand up, but stand up to the bully. There are lots of bullies out there. Deal with that how you need to and get it done. And when you're done with that, move to the next place, which is beyond the blame, shame, and game. I don't like those people either. But you can bet when this is all done and the movie is complete, your feelings of anger towards those people out there doing said thing to you and to us, you won't have them. You'll be like, oh my God, you help awaken the world by your presence of nonsense. You don't have to like what I'm sharing with you. It's how it works. If you're going to be mad and get it done. Get it done. And then realize it's me. And you can still not like those people out there and call a spade and call them out. That's allowed. But living in taking no responsibility will anchor the last nail in the old world coffin. And you will find yourself like all the other slaves coughing. I was asked to wear a mask today to go into the leasing office. And I lit up like a torch. And I said, can I speak to the leasing manager outside? And he said, not without a mask. And I lit up again like a torch. I got upset. And I'm okay with it. I made my point loud and clear. And I got a response. There you go. How does that come back full circle? So my whole day of being upset was purposeful all the way to this moment because I just had an epiphany. How I said maybe I should approach Swamiji, as I know he responded to me before, was by saying, I understand that, Swamiji, but what I'm saying is, and when I delivered such power to him, he volleyed it back to me with sharing something very magnanimous with me. And likewise, when I went to the leasing office this morning about these people upstairs, and they told me I can't come in without a mask. I said, well, can the manager come out? Not without a mask. Being so hard, definite. That's the right word, definite. I got a response from the higher ups, if you will, from this complex. As above, so below, on forever it will go. The same space I am sharing with you, that I hope I'm sharing with you clear, that one can fall into its mathematical formula. 2 + 2 always equals 4. It always equals 4. So if we apply this space insight on every level for anything we are beseeching, it has to work. And so all that for today came around till just this moment. How I said I need to share my place with Swamiji when I do get to talk to him in the next day or so. How I just realized that's exactly what happened to me this morning with my leasing office. So what I'm saying is, sometimes when we ask, forgiveness, 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 I am on my knees. Can't you see I'm on my knees? Bless me, bless me, bless me, please, please, please. That in and of itself is not serving the Lord. It's not serving at all. It's not self-serving, and it's not serving anyone else. It's being a slave in a victim mentality. Please, please, please. I don't deserve it, so I'm begging you and I'm asking you, please. So maybe when we stand up, we begin to be seen, and we have a voice that speaks with power. We need to arise, awake, and unite. So says the universal order in the earth. There's a lot of snake around. Recognize it, call it for what it is, process it, be done with it. It can be scary. I feel it. It's grating all over me like an energetic cheese grater. I don't feel sick. I feel invaded. It's like it's on me, not in me, but it's the only feeling I have inside that it feels like is I drank 3 cups of coffee. There's this constant, and it's low grating. I won't say fever. It could seem that, if you want to use that word to describe sort of what it's like, but it's not a fever. I have no energy. It's like it's exempt. You know me, I'm in this chair. I'm creating websites, movies, videos, songs, all this stuff. I don't even feel like doing it. And this is, this is my passion, right? I just don't want, I don't have the want. And I think it's the non-wanting of anything that is truly the enslavement factor. To be beat down. We know what beat down is like. We all have been beat down, so we can relate. Well, we need to stop relating to that. We need to break our relationship, our contract, our agreement with the old world. Literally, cut the ties. All of it. No matter who you are. Spiritualists, conspiracy theorists, old world theorists, doesn't matter who you are. What is going to be coming down the pike in the future? None of us have any freaking idea. We may understand the gradation process. Well, I know what it's going to be like maybe in about maybe even a year how things are going to unfold. You have no way of knowing the story of 5 years from now. No one does. It's hopeful because I believe in you. So everything we think, everything we've known, throw it in the trash. Yeah, but what I throw it in the trash. It may serve you now. Next year it won't. It's going to be old hat, old news, toilet paper, if you will. Use these things to guide you to your next level of awakening. Use them. Don't hold on to them too tight, because soon everything you're using now in the very near future can bind you. Mind you, you deserve more than that. Center of light decision. Time's up. Freedom or slavery. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. This is what's been spoken about for thousands of years. Heaven on earth. In the end is beautiful. The question becomes, who wants to be a part of it? I do. Why not?
Celebrate. There's a time to love and a time to trust and a time to know you are loved. Time to know you are loved. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. It's time to celebrate who you are. It's time to celebrate that you are.
Welcome back to Center of Light on this beautiful sacred night. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. Yanava, Yah heart, power, God will. What else do we need? Na is the mind, balance. We can use this beautiful sacred tool to look around and understand what's happening. When we get caught up in the nonsense, the monkey takes over. Va is our God-given backbone. Whether you can walk or not is irrelevant. using your backbone. It's your spiritual backbone. Having the backbone to ask your divine Lord, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm here. I'm planted. I'm ready. Give me something to do and the knowledge to do it. Versus, please, 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 please take this away, take this away, take this away. It will never take away your dismay between now and forever in a day. It will never happen. Robert, thank you for these beautiful flowers. This beautiful altar you've generously donated to my heart. Thank you. Center of Light Decision, freedom or slavery. Let me acknowledge everyone. I just got finished having a crying spell with Lavender Soul. Perfect in every way. My gosh, that song. Hello, Nikki Aguilar. It's been years. Angela Langford Smith, you and yours. Love. Dana, good night. You be well, dear. Thank you. Robert Harrison. I do want to move. Hello, Bella Dreamshade. Hello, Krista Huggins. I want to move into the reading segment. Also, everyone, July 31st, I'm going to be coming out with my new book. I'm going to go as far as to say my new bestseller. Sounds cocky? Good. That's the very cockiness I spoke about. You have to have that fire, that tenacity, that ball de cojones, the tits. You have to want something. It's called passion. It's the fire. It's truly the fire that lives in everyone. Now, whether we bellow that fire or not, it's up to us. Now that fire is required. We're all hardwired into this experience. We are. I want to read to you from the Divine Principle, my bestseller. Tonight's presentation is Center of Light Decision. Time's up. Freedom or slavery. This happened, began to vessel in 1996. A long time ago. My dialogue with Spirit about freedom and or slavery goes something like this. Talk about pertains to now. Spirit says, I know how challenging living in your world can be, especially when its temptations keep you wanting much of what it has to offer. That sounds positive, but what it has to offer also means it's offering you a carrot, a sweet one or a rotten one. We either bite it or not, and it's dangling in front of our nose. But you can free yourself from the bondage anytime you choose by making God and your divinity the only want. Lifetime after lifetime, you have tried so hard to be with me, Keith. This time, stop trying. This applies to everyone. Lifetime after lifetime, you've all tried so hard to be with me. This time, stop trying. Just be with me. Let the love of God fall upon you. Step back from your life's movie and see with your divine eye, the all-knowing, all-seeing, ever-present eye, the me of God. And I ask God, so reincarnation awakens the divine within us all so that one day we can anchor it on the earth plane. Welcome to the garden, everyone. And Spirit says, yes, all this time you have been playing God's game of life and you do not even realize it. And I ask, but why can't we know from the start that it's just a game? Because if you knew you would always be the winner, you would never play the game. And the game, after all, is the sole reason for your life. So just play for the sake of playing. Only when you do that can you advance to the next level. We are now either going to cross the bridge to the soul, or some people are going to panic so much on the little wooden bridge, the bridge is actually going to turn over and they're going to fall into the abyss. There is no other way. There is nothing else happening. Nothing. The definition of freedom. You remember how just a bit ago I said, what we think is happening with the big C and the big G, it is happening. You can bet your sweet ass on it. It's happening. But is it really happening? Now that you've called a spade, it's time to step up to the next level. The very knowledge we use now is not going to be the very knowledge we're going to use in 6 months. It's not. So that's the old world. At 6 months from now, that information would be considered the old world. Here's the definition of freedom. It applies the same. Freedom from slavery. Because that which we believe is happening right now, in 6 months, as I said earlier, could be that very thing that will continue, that will begin to bind us. So we want freedom from that as well. So freedom is not from this tyrannosaurus boogeyman. It is that, but it's also from the ignorance. We can use things as stepping stones, but when you grab them, you will go down like a rock when they go down with the house. Definition of freedom. Freedom from slavery, captivity, or any other form of arbitrary control. Departure from rules or procedures. Freedom. Spirit continues. As you continue to align yourself with God, you will need some tools to remove any ego weeds that still may be stifling the growth of your spirit's fruit. Till that fertile ground thoroughly so that it can germinate the seeds of love and grow God in you. Wow. Keith, know that I have never seen a flaw in anything. I see only perfection in what I have done, am doing, and will do. There is a fine line between judgment and creation. Those who, welcome to Twilight Zone, those who dwell on the judgment side are seeing the world through their own judgments, perfections, and are keeping themselves separate from that which is already perfect. I do not judge then create. I use judgment while I create so that there is no need to use it later. I do it right the first time, even in my creation of you. Beloved, do not think that I've created you so that you could one day judge your behavior, that I would one day judge your behavior and thus judge you. And I say, I don't do that anymore. Spirit says, good. How could I ever grant you your freedom if I had been spending all of my time to judge all 7 billion of you? The process would be never ending, and I would be so stressed out that my spiritual breakdown would be inevitable. Does that sound familiar? And I say it sure does, but as usual, I have another question. As I posed earlier, I have the opportunity to speak to Swamji and say, I have a question and I'm very serious about it. Is there such thing as Judgment Day? Yes, but it is not I who will be the judge. As I said before, it is you who have been and will always be the judge of yourself. When your human death happens, you can expect to be shown your whole life from beginning to end. The question is, how do you judge yourself now, and how will you judge yourself then? And is there really a difference between the two? And I say, I guess there isn't. Spirit continues. Do you feel that you deserve love now? Will you accept it? Will you show yourself mercy? I am posing these kickstart questions to get you to move through your lingering fear about me before that inevitable day, so that you can avoid repeating the same mistakes in your next reality. We're crossing the bridge to the soul. We're in the twilight zone right now. Because even though you may have some residual belief in a judgmental God, this is really what this is about. How does that relate, Keith? This is really what all of this is about. My God, the energy that just flowed through my being. On levels we don't understand. Because we are not clear. We can't see that all of this has been about our unconscious belief in a judgmental God and that we're due some sort of punishment or wrath. How so? Good question. What do we think is happening out here? That there's something upon us? Yes, I'm not saying be stupid or not be cautious. But through that, we need to use that as a stepping stone to the next level, or none of us will make it. If we forsake it, none of us will make it. I am posing these kickstart questions to get you to move through your lingering fear. We're all scared to death about me before that inevitable day, so that you can avoid repeating the same mistakes in your next reality. Because even though you may have some residual belief in a judgmental God, I assure you that judgment does not exist in me. I say to all of you, whosoever continues to hold on to judgmental beliefs about the situation and those people, will find your lives filled with much needless effort and wasted energy. Your precious time on earth will be spent in slavery. Listen, all my children of the light eternal. You are embodiments of the divine. You are repositories of never-ending bliss. Your hearts are shrines to the divine. The whole of nature is your playground, and all things in it are your playthings. Regard yourselves as masters of the universe. You are free. Hello, Darlene. Hello, Joe. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Terry. I'm going to keep reading. Here we go. This is going to help me further understand what's really happening on levels I don't understand. I ask God the question, what constitutes love, and can anything exceed the parameters of love? That includes what we call the big C out there and the big G out there and the offspring they're having called whatever. I ask God, can anything exceed the parameters of love? Because if God is love and omnipresent, and this thing supposedly happening to all of us is bad, 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 then that in and of itself would be exceeding the parameters of love. So that says we need to relook at what we think is happening, because it's not that. It's something else. So it is within the parameters of love. And Spirit's response, the answers are very simple. First, if you do not use your free will to impinge upon someone else's, which other people around us are doing, that is not your concern. You are exercising God's love. Second, my love knows no parameters. It transcends all boundaries of time, space, and judgment. It adheres to no rules pertaining to this or that. I do not judge something to be anything other than myself. And I say, but what I was taught, and then I'm interrupted. Never mind what you were taught. I know this may not sound like the God you are used to. Nonetheless, these are my constructs of love. Here we go. This was 1996, 97. This pertains to today. And I say, when trials show up in my life, does it mean that I've been abusing my free will? Is that why I sometimes feel you are testing me? And Spirit says, I have never tested anyone. The truth is, you are testing yourself. Your unhappy experiences have come about because you have not yet worked through your karma. But if you wish me to, Keith, I will test you right here and right now. And I say, no, none of that. I want to change the music. Next phase. And I say, no, don't test me right here, right now. And Spirit says, relax. This won't hurt. Parentheses, laughing. And I ask, what do you have in mind? A test like in school. And I said, but I did lousy in school. I failed a lot of classes. In fact, I didn't even graduate. Well, Keith, my test is designed for you to pass. Do you not wish to put to rest the questions, we talked about that earlier, you are having about God, you and us, so you can get to a better understanding of the law of one? Just one note. For each question, only one answer is possible. The correct one, the highest one. Prepare to earn an A+. The reward for your high grade is union. Know that you are loved so much that failure is not an option. I await the moment when I place upon you the big gold star for scoring 100%. Here we go. Take a deep breath and relax. Ready? And I say yes. And then we shall begin. Who am I? God. Can God read your mind? Yes. Would I not have to be somehow connected to you to do this? And I say, well, yes, of course. Spirit throws the question back to me. Is the mind of God clear? And I say yes. Is there anything that I have created without clarity? If so, what do you think that would be? I say no, I don't think anything could have come about if you were not clear. Is God a perfect being? I say yes. Is God capable of creating anything that is not perfect? And I say no. Who created you? And I say you. Who created the earth? And I say you. Who created the solar system, which is one of infinity? I say you. And who created the Milky Way galaxy, which is one of infinity? And I say you. Who created the universe? I say you did. Who created God? I say no one. And God says, and therefore? And I say you just are. Yes, always have been and always will be. Who sustains your life? You. Who sustains the life and movement of the solar system? You. Who sustains the life and movement of the Milky Way galaxy? I say you. Who sustains the life and movement of the universe? And I say you do. Again, who sustains the life and movement of God? And I say I can see now that everything except you is derived from you. So I'm perplexed. What are you really? How powerful is that question? So I am perplexed. What are you really? This is a question I pose to Spirit. It would be more correct to ask what I am not. For there is no form that is not me, and there is no name that I do not bear. God is not my name, though the word does invoke an image of the highest authority. What I am is the ultimate awareness. What I am is perpetual, infinite potential. Surely you can understand that everything born of infinite potential has within it its own spark of infinite potential. But to become invincible like me, you must go deep within and reach for that infinite potential yourself. And I say, I think I actually understand this. Parentheses, amazed at myself. Spirit says, so you're not perplexed after all. And I say, well, no, I guess I'm not. You see, by your intent to go within and seek, you have pierced your confusion at last. You have just become introduced to your own infinite potential. Now let us see what you do next. Hello, Carlo. Continuing reading from the Divine Principle, my dialogue with Spirit. Spirit says, let's see what you do next. The Spirit continues. As clearly as there are rewards for going within yourself for sustenance, there are definite consequences for going outside. When you reach out and grab to the world, You are vulnerable to its influences and the rules that apply on the physical plane. It is there that you encounter the many distractions of all that's happening and the temptations that result in your conscious disconnection. Looking to the temporal world for what you think it is implies a belief that you are lacking something. I ask you, why must you reach outward for fulfillment? You can never reach your infinite potential and power that way. And I'm going, thinking how often I reach outward. Spirit continues. Keith, do you understand that God is life itself and is not separate from creation? I say yes, because if that were possible, all things would cease to exist. Spirit says, seems to me that you're getting the hang of it. The reason you and many find life so challenging is because you give credence to the idea that the world outside is something other than you. It is that which has caused so many of you to feel so alone. But here's the kicker. All of you have the potential to tap into the self that connects you to me. Are you telling me that I am just like you in every way? Let us say that you are already embodying many of my divine principles. And I say, like what? Like your innate ability to create a life of quality instead of one of mediocrity. And Scripture says, you are created in the image, likeness, and similitude of God, Genesis 5:1. I used to think that it meant you thought me into being and made me kind of look like you. That's what Catholics believe. And Spirit says, if you only knew how many people actually think that, laughing. And I say, that's pretty darn funny, chuckling. And Spirit says, but there is more inherent in this truth than first meets the eye. You yourself had put it nicely just a moment ago. It means that you cannot separate yourself from anything that you have brought forth in your life, lest the all of it will cease to be. It's challenging. We're getting better at the game. It's challenging. This noise is happening. This noise, this light distortion is happening. So as we move closer to the light, it simply dissipates. How do we do that? I'm asking that very question every day of myself. How do we do that? Hello, Darrell. Hello, Naia. Hope I said that right. You don't have to like what's happening outside. It is not the truth. You are the embodiment of the truth. If you are not, you cannot breathe in air that gives you what you call life. The air that you breathe is the truth. Helps alleviate a whole bunch of unnecessary fear, doesn't it? When we understand who walks beside us at every moment, we will never be afraid again. I have my moments like everyone. I've just been doing it a little longer, so I'm a little more noble at it than many people. The world as you know it is dying. It's dead. The dying process is for those who are still yet to release their fingers off of it. What we know now in the form of information that is a step to the next level, I'm telling you, in 6 months to a year, it's not going to exist. We're going to be presented not only with a new packet of light. We step up. Same time, because God is omnipresent, we step down. We are always the center point, right here. That's where we are. No matter how much bliss you're feeling, no matter how much noise is happening. You're beyond all that, because I'm using the word bliss and noise to describe something that is truly indescribable. So as we move towards what we call up, an equal and opposite effect of what we know, hope to forget, but you can't forget it. You have to wise yourself through it. Down is presented. It's always presented. But what we need is the presence to understand the gift that it actually is. And in so doing, it turns within itself, just like this. Check this out. It's beautiful. It is so spiritually poetic and beautiful. It's this. This is what it is. But in order to see it, as you're going to see it, when I show it on the screen, when I show this on the screen, you're going to be the person watching this. I'm the me watching this on the screen. Likewise, in life, the goal, the trick is to be this person watching what we know as present-day reality as a screen. And doing so, you will see yourself and the entire world as a metaphorical this. Simply an in and out, sexual, synergistic energy exchange, unfoldment process. And it's all beautiful. But we have to want to get to the beautiful to actually stand in the garden of beauty. It looks like this. That is one of the most powerful pieces of information in this time that we are all living in that anyone can ever receive. It's all turning, burning, churning, yearning within. So the motion does go from within to without, but we can't get stuck out here. You have to keep the process turning. You have to keep the wheel moving. We have to recycle. I have to refine myself. I'm doing better. I'm stuck. I'm doing better again. So the process moves from within to without, within, without. It's all a circular process. It's for those who get caught in the Somebody throw me a life raft. Please, I'm drowning and I don't like this place. And when someone actually throws you a life raft, you turn your nose up at it. Doesn't mean they're right. It means, thank you for sharing. I am so open to a possibility that you may have found that I haven't. Then everything becomes a stepping stone. And so doing, everything becomes a possibility. As I said, in 6 months to a year, what we know as reality, which is now truly can be used as a stepping stone for now, will become dead. It will become old hat. In fact, that will be the old world for those who won't let go in the future. Let me say that again. What we know now, 6 months, definitely a year, is going to become so old and dead that in the future, for those people still holding on to it, it will be an old world. Center of light decision. Center of light may be this platform, but the platform is truly you. Where are you launching yourself inside? I have my process like everyone. I had a hell of a process, honestly, to use that word today. And guess what? It brought me to a heavenly space. There was something beautiful in it. I got upset this morning. Rightfully so. Divine birthrightly so. And it paid off. I basically stood up to the system. I stood up to calling Anjana to say, I need to speak to Swami. I have a very serious question to ask him. I'm not irreverent. I love my Lord. I love my teacher. I love my master. I love my guru. In any form, Jesus, Swamiji, Paramahansa, Yogananda, my grandparents that were beautiful to me, life itself. God damn it, I'm upset. And I got something I want to ask. And I expect an answer. And in my delivery, I am so reverent to say, this is how much I love all of creation. Make me a channel of your peace, but I need something for you. I need a piece of something from you. Sometimes, that's what it takes to become a black belt, a teacher, a chef, fireman, police officer, an artist, a gardener. You have to sometimes have to stand up with force and say, I will accept nothing else. That commands respect. That will get people's attention. As above, so below, on forever it will go. Hello, Gail. Everyone, welcome to Center of Light. I'm going to take a short pause. I'm going to be right back. When I come back, I'm assuming, as to what I'm talking about, go into vessel mode. What is vessel mode? I just let go. I don't present as Keith talking to my friends. I let go in such a way that I know as the garden of my soul, I play in that place with that which blends into a beautiful unity. It's just me. That I know as the most beautiful me yet. And in there I'm finding something else that is beyond me. And it's another me. And beyond that I find something else. And it's a different version of me. And all these fractures, all these fragments, all these fractals become actualized in one beautiful dance for me. That's why I love doing what I do. I feel unified with something all powerful. That there's nothing out there trying to harm me. I'm not stupid. I am playing the human game, and I understand it should be played. That's why we came here, to play human and play nice. Play nice human. Be nice, play nice human. So I play nice human. But I will not play nice human to the level that it shackles me and makes me a slave and a grind to the monkey mind that harms me. I respect people so much so that maybe in my truly stepping up and not being the sheep or being that is something that they need to experience for themselves. Whether they choose that path and or perceiving me in such a fashion, I have no control over that. I will not fold my hand until it's time to play the game. I won't gamble. I'm tired of gambling. I'm willing to toss even my soul into the divine fire to say, shatter my illusions. Please shatter my confusions. I'm a tired motherfucker. I need some love. I need some nuggets. People need nuggets. We're getting hungry. We're trying. We understand there's a lot of noise out there. And we understand there's infinite beauty inside. And somehow the river's a little too strong right now. I need to breathe.
Trust that I will guide you in whatever you do. Just remember to breathe and do your very best to live in love, give in love, be in love, and love you shall receive.
without rhyme or reason, time or season, whether it's disturbing or pleasing, you find yourself in a situation, as you call it, but we would like to call it something a little different, in fact, a lot different. Call it contemplation, graduation, elation, it all awaits. It's all your choice. Center of light decision, freedom or slavery. The vessel, as you call it, as he calls himself, because it makes him feel better about things, he doesn't even know what's coming through as he shares it with you. So we won't gap in between. We won't lap in between, so that for he himself, something can be seen, and it sounds something like this. Within 6 months, as was spoken earlier, there's a time and a season without rhyme or reason. He will no longer fall into what he calls vessel mode. He will be present. This has always been happening, but in the time and or the season, things have to move accordingly. The game has to be played out in order for you to fall in to win. You have to follow the object of every game that is before you until you graduate to dreamer gamer status. Welcome to virtual reality. The Matrix, as you have called it, divine matrix, the web, the matrix, the deep state, it's all irrelevant. There is only one state of being, and that is a deep state of being. So the deep state in this regard is actually true. It has such a negative connotation. How good and what does that do for you and to you? But through that is everything. And when you get to this place where you finally found some peace by taking in some sustenance and some manna, as you settle, there's a greater noise, there's a level of noise that begins to transpire. So what you do is you find yourself in that as well. And ever higher you ascend. As Link calls himself this go around. As Joe calls himself this go around, you ascend. This process of turning within, turning within, turning within does not mean do not wash your hands. Washing your hands is part of the plan. Putting a mask on, that is somewhat a gray matter that will leave it to each and every person's gray matter to figure out for themselves. Or figure in for themselves to figure that within everything, they find themselves in a most delicious, productive, beautiful way. There is truly no other way. So in other words, time's up. Time is completely up. So the vessel will no longer fall into vessel mode. He will just speak. And in the very near future, it's very likely you're going to see him morph. Take this literally, figuratively, and such ways. But what is most important about this piece of information is not what you see and or hear before you, as you know, as Yanava Keith the vessel. It's actually more about your very deep state of being. So if you see any morphing happening with the information, with how you're receiving sound, the light vibrations that's moving about you, where you can see the profound, it's all about you. So you can use this information being imparted to you now so that in the very near future you will know how to gauge yourself, which may throw you off center, which is the last thing we want for you, because we always want you to be in the center point. The point of it all is that the center requires you to be willing to die every moment to live fully. Welcome to the other side. It's not hard, is it? In the form of mechanics, it's never been hard. But in the form of semantics and the dance of the spirit, everyone wants to claim spirit as all that is good. All that is good. But no one wants to see spirit that is all that is bad. All that is bad. Because that would actually be correct. There's nothing bad about the spirit completely. Totality. In and out. Forever. So the question really is shot back to you, dear ones. What are you seeing? It's worthy for you to chew on that. Even what you call bad is spirit. But never dare to label what you call bad as spirit. Do you hear it? That it points directly back to you. What are you seeing? What are you labeling? What are you enabling every day unconscious? Because you can bet your sweet bippy, as it is said, that you become the cool hippie when you lie in the very bed that you have made and have gotten laid repeatedly. And you call that bliss and ecstasy because many of you have settled for paltry bone scraps of information. Thinking it would provide ongoing elation. It may serve you in a bullet moment. Spirit speaks tough. Spirit speaks rough. Spirit speaks gruff. Do you understand those components? They begin to move you inside. I'm being forced, to use the word. You're being forced all around you. Everything around you is forcing you into a corner that you have to figure your way out of. Is this true not for everyone across the board? So is it truly being rough? Are you tough enough to stand the fight that is coming? Winter is coming. How are you coming along, dear one? And as Spirit looks upon all of you in this collective fashion, vibrations are changing. They're beginning to excite. Colors are changing. They're beginning to lighten up and becoming a whiter color as they begin to move and spin by simple pushing and simple information and simple wisdom and simple caring. In this sharing, it changes you. Always be aware of your influence. Your influence. Are you in a state of fluent? Are you fluent? Congruent with that which is solid, planted, anchored forevermore? Swimming towards that peaceful shore? Or are you lost in the rip current, the rip tide? Same message, different energy, different power, different intent, different placement for you on this night, is it not? Right. You understand. So now you understand the language of all this rigidity, harshness, softness, kindness, compassion. It's all usable tools. Equally, you can all be usable fools. Center of light decision, freedom or slavery. In the cave of bravery is where you find yourself in this beautiful spiritual state of samadhi, in the deep state of samadhi. Samadhi, union with God. At least your intention thereof should always be. And suddenly there you will be. And suddenly there you will see. And suddenly there you will free your absolute true self to live out this mission you call your life. The world is goddamn convincing. I buy into it as well. But I have no more money. I have nothing else to give it. I can't pay anymore. So I can't live there anymore. When you live in an apartment or house and you can't pay the mortgage, you get kicked out because you have no more money. In this regard, I have no more currency, no more currency to buy into this world. So I've exhausted, thank God, I've exhausted my investment in the outside world, hoping my value of myself would appreciate. It's spent. It left a hell of a dent in my spiritual, metaphorical wallet. In fact, I have no more money to be in that world, in that old world apartment. They kicked me out. I've been evicted. My stuff was set on side the road. I got thrown out. My stuff, my baggage, my stuff. Because I can't take that stuff with me into my new apartment, my new world anyway. The world as you know it is dying. Don't let it kill you. Use this dying mechanism to be your reviving perfection. It's a stepping stone. There is no virus out there trying to harm you. Yet, that being said, don't be stupid and challenge Kali, the goddess Kali. You don't want to challenge Kali. Respect her. Move accordingly. Navigate accordingly. And accordingly, you will find yourself in the garden of forever. I get scared like you. My scared is not so penetrating, but it does get me in a concerning kind of way, like, ooh, ooh. And then later I check myself and go, ooh, ooh. I found myself in ooh, ooh. And I don't mean like, ooh, ooh, like, oh my God. Also do mean that, but also mean ooh, ooh, as in the mind. And then I reflect. And then I genuflect myself to say, I understand. And I want to stand under something that means everything. And it happens to look like that. And it looks like you. And it looks like me. It looks like we. This is going to end soon. I know this. How do I know that? He told me so. When did he tell me that? He told me just now. How do I know that? I feel it. And actually, after we catch our collective breath, round 2 is coming. Oh my God, don't do that. Round 2 is coming. You survived the first tear. The next one's coming. You may shed a tear. My dear, don't worry about it. Just be you. Be you full out. Show up for the party. Show up ready to throw down. To ask questions of your maker. What is this? You get an answer. Okay, then what do I do with that? And the highest good to be so serving that I'm deserving of the greatest possibility as to why I have incarnated upon this beautiful Mother Earth. And that's when we truly see our worth. You are loved beyond measure. You have, I won't say God bless you. You have been God blessed. It is the very fabric that holds what you know as you together. Hold me together. Sometimes I lose it as well. Thank you, Link, for your support in saying that. Sometimes I want to cry. Sometimes I want to scream. And through it all, I'm truly okay. And just you sharing, Link, that very sentiment is exactly what I need. So I've filled up my tank of gas, a quarter. Now I can drive around town for a little while longer. And it makes me a little bit stronger. I love you. I don't know you, but I know you beyond levels. We're all alike. And I'm beginning to know myself so much that I know that you're just like me. And I'm like you. And we are like we. And there is nothing else. God bless you.